and the Colts have it.
That's important. You got a busted play here, and then Sanchez gets hit. The ball is loose.
And look at the fumble right here, and it's picked up on the bounce, and there he goes.
Thank you for rejoining in. This is the Fantasy Ranking Show. We're only giving you 25 picks. It should be quick and painless, right, Dre?
Yes, man. I'm excited about this show because I love fantasy football, and I like talking about the personnel, the different players that just make it happen for you, for your team. So this is going to be a great one.
This is, my very speculative list with zero, You don't need to do a ton of research after you play for years. You kind of know what you're looking for in a team, and it depends on the format. We're going to talk PPR here, if you don't know, points per reception. And in the last few years for me, I've stick with running backs. I usually do well, but I think the tide is turning for me.
Is it going to be a different format for you this season?
Yeah, I'm going high on wideouts this year. That's just full disclosure in my list. And there's a couple guys that just aren't in here because I will not touch them with a 10-foot pole that, people got in at like 10 or 15 for ADP. So,
okay.
Just my opinion.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, there are a couple running backs that, are up there, but for the most part, there's a lot of receivers, man. They're just putting in work. They're getting that yak.
Yeah, you're getting yak. You're getting the receptions. You get 10 catches a game, man.
Yes.
Your running back ain't doing that unless, you're one of the three guys at the top you really want for being a back. So I'll just start it off here. I will give you my top 5. You will give me your top 5. It'll appear behind us on the green screen. And we'll just go back and forth, have a little open-ended conversation about this. Here's where I start my top 5 at. At number 1, Tyreek Hill. At number 2, CeeDee Lamb. At number 3, Jamar Chase. So this leaves Christian McCaffrey at number 4. I know a lot of people got him high. Probably number 1, a lot of leagues. And then number 5, a guy that is also lower, Justin Jefferson. I have number 5.
Okay.
What do you got?
At number 1, Tyreek Hill. At number 2, I have Christian McCaffrey. Number 3, I have Justin Jefferson.
Ooh, you did go high on him too. Nice.
I went high, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. People really don't like him this year.
Man, I talked about that because of the quarterback situation, but at the same time, I think he's just going to be that number 1 target all the time.
He's QB proof.
Yeah.
They have to throw at him if they want any semblance of winning games. So
exactly, and I think any QB is going to be comfortable with his how big he is, how his capabilities. At number 4, I have Jamar Chase.
Okay. Yeah.
And at number 5, I have CeeDee Lamb. Now, let me talk to you about that one.
Yeah,
he's not in camp
yet. I'm afraid about him at 2.
Yeah.
But,
he's not in camp, and Jerry Jones keeps pissing him off. But with that being said, I think he'll eventually get into camp. I think he'll play first game. And him and Dak Prescott, they have a great chemistry. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't afraid, really, still taking him at least 5th.
Yeah, that's kind of I'm good with that. Yeah, I like your rankings as well. For me, what really scares me about CMC, as silly as it is, the Madden curse is back. He's a running back.
Oh.
He's about 30 years old. I love him just as much as everyone else. He's in a very run-heavy offense.
Yeah.
Just be a little nervous, obviously risk with every single player you draft ever, but running backs, a little bit different. Also taking Tyreek Hill at 1 as well. I respect that opinion because he's a league winner. That guy's a league winner. Any of these guys can be league winners for you.
Oh man, he's incredible. I seen a camp, practice where he made a crazy catch and then just did a couple moves and he was gone.
Yeah, and I just think with having someone like Tua, Jamar Chase, having Joe Burrow, it's just having that elite quarterback. Gives you a lot of upside and just a yak monster like you said.
Oh man,
guy that was
And shout out to Tua
and
Burrow. Yes,
just challenge. He might challenge a record again. We'll see what happens. All right, I'm gonna go to my 6 through 10 now. Number 6, I have Puka Nacua.
Okay.
Guy with a great season. And then I got some Detroit Lions at 7 and 8. I have Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs at number 8. I know that's a little high for people, but bear with me. That's my guy. And then rounding out my top 10, which guys were a lot lower on ESPN lists, fantasy lists in general. Breece Hall at 9, and I got Bijan at 10. You can flip-flop them, and I don't know, if you're into that kind of thing, these are your guys. I hope I don't get a pick around 9 or 10 this year because I'm picking Jahmyr Gibbs at like 10.
I'm with you on Jahmyr. I don't have him as high, but he's like a step or two down from what you picked it. At number 6, I have Ross St. Brown, of course, Detroit receiver. Number 7, I have Puka.
See, and these lists are like basically the same. It's tit for tat.
Yeah.
Like it's like one spot. Oh, you got in one spot. Like, okay.
Now this might surprise you, but at number 8, I have Josh Allen.
Josh Allen at number 8. Yeah,
I think he's going to put in major work. I think he's going to have to as well. I don't know if how comfortable he's going to feel about the new receivers. Also,
look at last year in my league.
Yeah,
guy took Josh Allen first round. He came in second.
See what I'm saying, man? He's a weapon. He's a weapon.
Guys, he does set. Have a lot of top 5 QB weeks.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, man. So at number 9, I picked Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr
All right.
Gibbs
So
at
yeah,
number 9.
nice. I like that.
At number 10, I got Bijan Robinson.
All right. We're
very similar right now.
We're gonna see what kind of offense Atlanta brings. I just think that Lions offense is very explosive with Amon-Ra and Gibbs. You can't go wrong with having multiple Lions on your team this year. You really can't.
Jahmyr is very. He got really comfortable towards the end of the season. Like he knew what he was capable of doing in this league, and I believe that the offensive line knows what type of running style he has. I think that helps him as well too.
I'm a little afraid of David Montgomery taking away touchdowns.
True,
but
true.
The receiving upside's there, and big play upside guy can
Oh my goodness,
really
he's going to make more big plays this season. I believe.
I love him. He was a top 10 pick for a reason. I didn't understand at first. Then I watched the guy play, and I was like, all right, guy checks out.
Yes.
But yeah, look at our rankings, and even in the top 10, I mean, they're, just spaces apart. Your justification doesn't really matter. I heard someone today say, don't draft Tyreek Hill.
Are they stupid?
A lot of people this year down on Justin Jefferson due to the, situation at QB, i.e. there is no QB there, Sam Darnold season. And then you just have your guys that are kind of there, like Jamar and Amon-Ra. Like, they're just top 10 guys now. The league is always and continuously changing.
Yes.
Pardon me. But that's what the second tier is for. It's kind of for those aging stars. And, I'll start it off here. I got A.J. Brown at 11. Garrett Wilson, number 12. Jonathan Taylor, number 13. Drake London, number 14. Makes a big leap this year. Like I said, not a fan of Atlanta, but a fan of the offense and offense in general. And then rounding out my 15th pick, Chris Olave.
Wow, okay, all right.
Like I said, I might be a wide receiver guy officially.
It sounds like you are.
Because some names dropped. And as you've seen in that, 11 to 15, all receivers besides Jonathan Taylor.
Okay, all right. So for number 11, I have Jonathan Taylor. I think this is definitely going to be his year.
Bounce back, yeah.
Yeah. 12, I have C.J. Stroud. Okay, so I'm mixing a few quarterbacks in our couple.
Whoa, okay.
Or a few, actually, because at number 13, I have Anthony Richardson.
So you really like the upside of some of these QBs?
Oh, man, definitely. I think that, the sky's the limit for these newer types of quarterbacks, too.
You would waste a top 15 pick on a QB?
Well,
of that, you're just thinking kind of speculative, like, hey,
because
you're gonna get him in the 4th round, like,
yeah,
clearly,
true. But what I'm thinking too is like a lot of the players that I may want to take may already be gone too. I'm thinking like that too.
Like I could see, because their rankings, like I said, Josh Allen went right away.
Yeah.
You're gonna see someone on my list that might be lower, he might be higher. I think he's still gonna go very early. So
yeah. Plus, I just think that these quarterbacks are just going to put up numbers, too. I mean, they're going to be comparable to some of these lower-tier but solid, receivers.
Yeah.
That we talked about, that you're talking about. So, I'm taking a little bit of a gamble too.
Oh, definitely a gamble. Yeah, definitely a gamble. But I understand the rankings there.
So
who's finishing out your 15?
At number 14, I have Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, see, that's very high. He's outside my top 25.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned because of Puka.
Age 30, wide receiver.
And he's older.
I think he's stepping into the, Robert Woods role kind of near the end of his tenure with the Rams, where he's going to be like a 7-catch, 66 yards a game guy, but, he still has upside for touchdowns.
He does.
I just think he's more of a second, third round pick.
Well, I think Stafford feels really comfortable with him. I think more comfortable than Puka. I think Puka, he just had that because Cooper was hurt.
Yeah,
he got the opportunity.
Yeah, he still broke the receiving record for a rookie as well. So
yes, that's why I got him pretty high. Yeah,
thinking these guys all make a leap. Yeah, he could make another big one.
Now, at number 15, I have another QB. Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. Yeah, I mean, if you're afraid, or if you're in like a 2-quarterback league, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
I mean, quarterbacks do fall very early in those leagues. I don't have any issue with that kind of ranking if, you were in one of those leagues.
Yeah.
If you're in, a single QB league, I think it's a reach. You can maybe get him in the next round, around 25, 30.
Perhaps, yeah.
But I don't mind the ranking there. If you just want to get your favorite guys, and Lamar Jackson, like, by all means, he's a stud. Like, you can build your team around him still. It's not an issue to me to put players like that there. Even though it's not my personal preference.
I get you. I think also, with I know I'm getting them a little bit higher. I'm taking them higher, but at the same time too, I can use them as trade bait.
Yeah, that's fair.
Kind of
if they do well.
If they do well, and I'm not, me. I'm usually not a trade guy.
Yeah.
I just kind of pick people off waivers. If the trade matches what I'm looking for, I'll take it for sure. But I kind of, take that with a grain of salt. But that's kind of why I kind of chose. Lamar Jackson for sure. And I think that he can make my team better.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. Like I said, if you're 2 QB league, you're taking 2 QBs right away. Like, Lamar Jackson will be gone by that pick. He will.
Yeah, true.
Just people get kind of afraid, like, when QBs start getting picked off, they're like, there goes Burrow, there goes Allen, there goes Mahomes. Got to take Lamar.
Yes. Oh, yes.
All right, we will go to our 16 to 25. So we move to, mid-second round, late second round, depending on your, format. Teams like 8 teams is way different than 14 teams. Like, that's why Andres, got QBs there. It makes sense in those kind of leagues that are 14 teams, grab QB right away. Where I'm thinking, like, I'm not grabbing a QB right away. I'm in a 1 QB league. Maybe I have 2 flex spots. I'm going wide receiver heavy.
Right. Yeah.
So, without further ado, I will give you 16 to 20. Here's where some of my running backs appear. I got Isaiah Pacheco at 16, Pittman Jr. at 17, followed by another junior, Marv Harrison Jr. or whatever.
I like the Marvison. That could be
his nickname now, Marvis. Right. Yeah, he's Marvis.
AKA.
Yeah, I just got Marv Jr. on here. Kyren Williams at 19. And I'm going to take James Cook at 20. I know that's a little high for people as well, but I like the upside on some of these guys. Like, if I'm going wide receiver heavy, and this might be my, like, early third-round pick in, like, a 8-team format or something like that.
Yeah.
Then I can kind of take a stab at, like, a lower-end RB2 or higher-end RB2. And I think all those guys fit the profile. And there's a name in there that, people, if you really know football, you're like, where the fuck is this guy? Where the fuck is this guy?
Don't say it.
I'm not going to say it yet. I'll save it for the end.
Okay. Well, number 16, I have A.J. Brown. 17, Breece Hall. Number 18, Devontae Adams. 19, you can say it now.
Saquon Barkley.
There you go. And at number 20, Garrett Wilson.
Okay.
So,
yeah, you're just different feelings.
Well, with Saquon, I mean, the way that Philly's offense is like he's going to be like major league in their offense. And I think Hurts is going to be looking for him a lot more.
Yeah.
You know, so he's going to be one of their valuable offensive players. And you know, he's stronger. You know, the injury thing is gone. I mean, I think what is his second year, 2 years removed. So he'll be stronger in that part of it. I just think he has something to prove. So I think he's going to play hard. I didn't get him. I mean, I wanted to take him sooner, but I think this is a good spot as far as fantasy football is concerned.
I'm just very afraid of him this year. I know I should be all in again, like, because I believe people have him around 12. Like, people are picking him late first, early second. Like, he's still that guy, but I'm afraid because he's on the Eagles team where Hurts runs the ball. Kenneth Gainwell's going to get some run.
True. Yeah, you're right.
And I don't even know if Boston Scott's probably still on that team stealing 3 touchdowns a year. So, you know, I'm kind of afraid of that. And I think Saquon's not going to be a guy in the red zone. Okay. So I have him outside of my top 25, full disclosure. It is also because I took Saquon Barkley over Tyreek Hill in my first round in my league last year, which led Andre Miller to winning. Hit it hard 4. And I begged Andre for Tyreek Hill. I tried shipping everyone.
Oh, yes, you did.
Tried shipping everyone. And, you know, I watched firsthand why that burned me. So
I held on to him like a wallet.
Yeah.
With money in it. You know, I was like, oh, hell no.
Secure.
But I mean, I feel what you said on Saquon. But you know, I just think that I think Saquon is going to get a lot of looks. He's just that dynamic of a play. I think he will get to where he was at before. I'll say that.
Yeah.
You know, when he first came into the league.
If he gets to where he is before, he's RB1.
Yeah. A lot of people think that too. I didn't take him that as high on that, but I think he'll get to some level of that.
You have Brees Hall at like 17.
Yeah,
that's people have him at like 3 and 4. Like I just don't buy it. I don't buy
either. I don't either, man.
I'm buying wide receivers in any format I'm in. I'm sorry, that's just the change of how the game is played. I love running backs, my favorite position.
Right.
I'm gonna go with the wide receiver that just has more upside.
So you're saying too that you don't think that the running back is as valuable as that position as it once was.
Yeah, especially in PPR formats.
Right.
Especially, and it just seems like it's still more of a and defense has gone up the last few years. Don't get me wrong, but we're still in a very pass-happy league. We're not in super bomb territory. Remember when teams were kind of bombing it before they were just laying 2 safeties?
Yeah.
People are playing more underneath, and look at scoring the last 3-4 seasons. I think that's why rules have been implemented. Like we have the kickoff form, the kickoff rules. Like I think special teams player. Like if you have a special teams player that catches a touchdown too, maybe it's more valuable than we realize.
Well,
the hip drop tackle and
I mean things have changed. I think also the running back position has changed. Like you have more all around backs that are maybe better receivers. Maybe they have hands now. They can catch outside, the pocket or whatever. And that some of those players are going to be unique to fantasy football. Some of those running backs that can do that.
Yeah, you're gonna see guys that just kind of like Austin Eckler's nowhere to be found on anyone's list because you have Brian Robinson Jr. there. Yeah, and Brian Robinson Jr. also catches 4 passes a game. Like they're just like taking away from each other, so that's why people aren't as high on them. You're kind of gambling on one. We also know Washington's offensive line situation's atrocious, one of the worst in the league easily. Right. So people like to play with what's safe in their rankings.
I think Eckler with his age too. I think people are thinking along those lines as well. But you know what? Watch, Eckler probably gonna surprise us all.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Well, yeah. And like I said, the one year I don't take a Washington 20-1 to win the division. They win the division, and Jaden Daniels is the Messiah. The Messiah. All right. Let's finish out our top 25 here. I have a couple more running backs here to end out my running backs for the list, and then a couple guys everyone should know. Number 21, Travis Etienne. Number 22. This is the one I put a lot higher on my list than most people. I just don't think he's getting the credit yet until he starts playing. Josh Jacobs, number 22.
Okay.
I like him more than Saquon Barkley. I like his upside in Green Bay. I think, You know, a guy just 2 years removed from a rushing crown, and then like 2 years before or the year before that, like touchdown crown.
Yeah.
And finishing out 23 to 25, we got Pat Mahomes, 24 Josh Allen, and 25. I have to recognize it because they have him too low. Travis Kelce's still a top 25 player somehow this year. Just the tight end position, like he'll still be a TE1.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Positional value. So
I feel you on that. And let me go through my 21 to 25, and I got some things to say. Okay. At 21, I got Travis Kelce.
yeah,
Okay.
see, I'm glad you're with me. Just a lot of
Yeah.
people I see, you know, third round, sometimes fourth.
Right. At 22, I have Patrick Mahomes.
Fair, yeah.
Okay.
I have him at 23. So
23, I have Debo Samuel.
wow, yeah, all right, that's a good one.
At 24, I have
Here.
Jason Waddle.
Is that your last one?
Jalen Waddle. I'm sorry.
That's your
Tripping.
25th.
No, I messed up.
Okay.
At number 25, I have Marvin Harrison Jr.
Marvin here, yeah, you got Marv there. I see. Let's see some honorable mentions. I see him there.
I got a few honorable mentions. But with the Jacobs situation, that's a good point, man. I mean,
It's clear running back one.
He's
You know,
gonna
Dillon, He's good offensive line. I think that's
yes,
a good.
that's a solid pick.
I
you
think
know.
that's a good kind of sleeper play in like the third
Yeah.
round.
Yeah,
You
I
get him
think
if
he's
you
going to
get-
be sleeper too.
Because I think people are going to overlook him, and he'll fall to like 30. I don't think, I think I have him too high on my list, but I kind of tend to exaggerate the guys I really like, and then the guys I really like Saquon's off my list. Like, I don't give a shit. I'll take him at 35 if I can.
Okay, all right.
But, like Josh Jacobs, I'm taking at 24 if I really am kind of like, feeling good about like if I have a good wide, clear WR1.
Yeah, I think he's going to very much eat so in the red zone.
Like, let's
as
say I
well.
get first pick and I get Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
And Josh Jacobs is there for me at like 24 in a 12-team format. I'm taking him.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I probably would take him too.
Or I'm going Allen or fucking Mahomes. Like, it's kind of clear. Like, those guys have to go. Like,
I mean,
we're gonna play favorites here.
we talked about this off camera too. You have to adjust. Like, once the draft starts and your guys aren't there anymore, what you gonna do? You know what I mean? You gotta you gotta know your personnel first of all.
And sometimes you just gotta take guys you don't like. But
Yeah,
like you don't make your whole draft like being like, oh, I gotta pick, contrary. It's like you do that in later rounds. I think that's the general strategy. Is like because the draft is not won in these rounds. Sometimes it is. Last year it was for him and me. But I think a
Right.
lot of times the draft is won in round 7 and 8. Like
Yeah, I mean, you have to have versatility. And you have to. I mean,
you
the
got-
waiver
you got-
wire is
yeah.
important to
I was
me
gonna
too.
say, you have to pick up players too. Like
Yeah.
sometimes maybe losing week 1's good because then like me, you get a James Robinson a few years ago that ends
Yeah.
up running back 5 and helps me win a league because
Exactly.
I had the craziest running backs. It was like him, Chubb, and like Saquon or something. I won a league off of that.
People forget you own. I mean, you own a team. I mean, you are the GM. You are the head coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do
you might be
whatever
the
fuck you want.
Yeah,
Like,
I
as long
mean,
as you're not being foolish, and like
listen, man. I've had defensive teams, and I didn't mention. I think last season I had a defensive team in there in my top
you did.
25.
Yeah, you did. That's crazy.
But it was crazy.
Yeah,
but
we had
but,
kickers in there too, though. Like you
Yeah.
had Justin Tucker rounding it out. Like,
but
pick who
my
you
point
want,
is
yeah.
they helped me win a couple games.
Yeah,
You know, they helped me probably make it to a playoff. If
Well,
I was one or two
it's more,
games
well,
off.
I think you do it more as like an exercise of like, hey, like I know this guy isn't like top 25, but like this guy helps me win in lineups, so I'm gonna put him in here as like it's almost like an honorable mention. So
Yeah.
I respect it.
Speaking of, too, let me go through my honorable mentions. I have Jalen Hurts, DJ Moore, Dak Prescott,
Okay,
and George Pickens.
I'm just trying to think of some guys I can honorably mention as well. Terry McLaurin, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams.
Okay.
You had Jalen Waddle. I didn't have him in mind. Nick Chubb when he comes back. So
Chubb.
Jerome Ford is going to be pretty big this year. Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, of course. Don't know. Maybe the other guy in Denver that's unfortunately still there.
What is his name?
Cam Sutton.
Okay.
Not
okay.
Cam Sutton. That's the cornerback that was beating on his girl. That
Right,
went
he's back
to,
with Pittsburgh. isn't
Yeah,
he?
he's suspended the first half of the year. That's what happens for domestic abuse. You get to play football again.
Don't put your hands on nobody, people. Please, don't do it.
Come on, man. I hate that shit. Like, Lions did the honorable thing.
They did. They really did.
We play with honor here in Detroit.
Right. That makes it look better too when you
Same
win
with the Chiefs.
honor.
I think the Chiefs took Matt Araiza. That's why the Bills dropped him. We have honor. We got other dirty guys you don't know about.
Yeah, we got too many to name anyway.
You know, they're all dirty guys.
I mean, it was football though. I mean,
it's
even when I played in high school, there was some cats that just was crazy.
Fucking scumbags.
Right,
Yeah, like there's gonna
you know?
be, dude. That comes with the territory. There's some mean dudes out there. Like, why do you think they play professional football?
Yeah, I mean, and some of these guys, it carries on into their everyday lives, and it started with their everyday lives, really, truly. Yeah. But some people do change too. Yeah, I've seen some people that have changed their style. You know, and change how they live their life.
You can change, yeah.
Yeah.
It just depends on how brain broken you are by the time of your NFL tenure, too. Because, you know, you go Chris Benoit.
That's
and,
true.
You know.
That's true.
Your whole family as well.
Right.
Rest in peace.
Goodness.
So, anyways, yeah, that's our list here. You know, I'm not going to give you no daily fantasy shows or nothing. We just like doing this as an aside, you know, from the regular show. Yeah. Tune into the show soon. We're going to do a different format. Me and Dre are just going to give our best 5 picks of the week and then, you know, maybe a little lightning round of all of the games.
Yes.
So you guys can kind of follow along and see that we still pick every game, but our emphasis is only going to be on the ones we really bet.
Yes, I like that. I do like that format, and hopefully you guys will love that format too. You know, we just moving forward, guys. Y'all got to tell people, push that like button.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
Keep drinking the blue Kool-Aid. And, you know, that's it. That's all I can say right now.
That's all for me now. You'll see us week 1. See you guys.
See you later.